Otra vez, salsa y picante. Y nos fuimos. ¡Ande diablo! ¡Dios mío, qué hago! ¡Coño!
How's it going, guys? We are once again back at Novo, the city. You may or may not recognize this place we're looking at just now, and nestled right in the center is our little cheeky secret city base, guys, and we're going to get into that just in a second here on how to build it. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all is 1.21 is here, the patches are out. Right, now what that means for base building is I can't quite squeeze as many gates as I usually can into these bases, so you are going to have to expect a drop in the amount of gates you can fit into these kinds of bases, guys. You have to expect that because it's 1.21 that does that. It means the gates aren't as close together as they physically can be, which is such a shame. I will showcase that better later on down the line in the video when I'm building it. But let's jump into the location, guys. So we're here in Novo. We're going to come along right to the very center. So we have the Novo building and the courtyard for reference here, and let's in fact, tell you what, we'll start from the Novo building here. So we're going to go at the Novo building, come all the way to the end here, to the end of the courtyard. We're going to take a right, and you're going to find these destroyed buses and things like that. Now these three buildings here are going to be our main target for our secret base location. Now we've done a video in this one just right here, but this one I want to do a video on as well. So we have this one, this kind of yellow building, and this one here. As you guys can see, we have done some building in this one already. I was doing some test runs to see how bad the building was in 1.21, and it is a lot worse than 120 in terms of how many gates you can get it down inside these buildings, but that might make it look a bit more low-key with having less gates. So let's jump into that. So that is our location. So let's do a big zoom out here just so you guys know where we're talking about. And Novo on the map is very north, just up from Svet. And there we go, guys. That is us. So let's jump in and let's get into this tutorial. Okay, guys, let's get into the building of this. And here is our building here. We're going to choose this one in particular. You could choose that one there, or you could even choose that one there. There's three of these buildings on these streets that you could choose, and we're right next to the Novo Tower right there. So let's get in. Let's get started. I've done a couple of placements here. I did a test run in this building here. As you guys can see, I've built a little bit there. And there is something we need to talk about while showing the tutorial. The reality of 1.21 as we put in our first placement here, guys. So our first placement is going to be right here. But the reality is that last update, I would probably be able to get about 8 gates deep in this, right? 8 gates deep, but now we're only going to be around 5, and I'm going to show you why. And 5 doesn't sound like a lot, but in 1.21, 5 gates is a lot. Alright, and that is something that you're just going to have to accept at this point, because the state of the game in terms of placements with placing fence kits is the hardest, or one of the hardest it's ever been. It's an absolute struggle to place things down here. So this is our second placement, just while I'm going on a little side tangent rant here, to lock off these stairwells in this yellow building, because I've built the placements upstairs. We'll get to that in just a second. I will show you the reality of what we're dealing with here in these base building videos, and how much harder it's going to be to base build. And the real reality that Bohemia faces in base building in DayZ is they're going so unbelievably backwards. It is a shame to see. The only reason I say that is because I want what is best for this game, and if there's something wrong, then it needs to be pointed out. You know what I'm saying? So let's focus up. Let's get into this tutorial here. So we have our first 2 gates down. So we have a gate covering off that one there, and we have a gate around the corner covering that one there. That's guaranteed 1 wall to get through. Then we have this gate here. That's another wall to get through. Now these platforms here, you cannot build on them. I've tried. Well, you can, but it's like useless. You can get this placement here, but it's useless. You can just walk right past it. So let's crack on. Then we get to this one. As you guys can see, placement is useless. There is this little metal thing here, so we can't get a diagonal one across like this. That would be so clean. As you guys can see, that would be a nice placement, but the game just doesn't allow you. Let's get into these placements in this corner. Now, this right here is physically the best you can get for placements in 1.21. Now, if we were on 1.20 last update, I would be able to put a kit here, I would be able to put a kit here, and I would be able to probably put a kit, well, I'm not sure about this room, because we'll get to that in a second, but this room, I'll be able to get multiple, and I believe what this is the update of, they were talking about in their dev stream, is preventing gates to be stacked together, like very closely, for base building balances, making things more realistic and things like that. But that is now in full effect, as you guys can see. We can only get, this is physically the best we can get, so we're gonna build these up nonetheless. Just to make it through. So that is now 3 gates deep, just in that corridor alone, and then once again, talking about 1.21 and the current state base building, you have this whole room. As you can see, the ceiling is fairly high. That's the door. And now I have a placement here where there's physically nothing around it. Like, physically nothing around it. I can't place anything. Nothing in this room. Not one thing. So what I would have done is probably one here, one blocking off this one, and maybe like a third one in this room, and then the cream of the crop. This room. Once again, ceiling very high. You just can't. There's nothing. Not one placement. So you can't even block off the windows, but still, you could use these for base defense on a positive side. Just really showcasing the reality of base building. Like, I'm trying to obviously provide you guys the best locations for the best possible base locations, and this is as good as it gets. In 1.21, maybe future updates. If you are watching this down the line, please do check these placements, because it may be fixed in, let's say, 1.22 or some update later on in the next year. Or if you're watching this video a year down the line, these may be fixed. But please do check if you're watching this later on down the line. But for right now, people watching in 1.21, this is as good as it gets. This would be your main loot here. You'd be able to fit maybe a medium tent, some crates and things like that. You've got a nice view onto the courtyard of the Novo building as well, and you can check the trees up there. I just think this is a really good looking spot for a base, and you can at least get a solid amount of gates down, better than most of the other buildings in DayZ. So let's do a quick gate count here. So we'll jump in free cam. Okay, so we're in the corridor here. So we got 1, 2, 3. We're already aware of that. Let's go through this door, down the stairs, down the next set of stairs, and then that's on 3. Then we have 4, and then we have 5 there to get through. So that's not too many gates to get 5 deep on this base, and if you make them all sheet metal, that at least will be a bit of a challenge. And obviously you are deep in the center, like we're talking about. You got zombies around the area, you're deep in the center, not very a chosen spot for people to loot this area. You've got a lot of things around you that they would rather go to, like industrial sheds. There's industrial up on the hill there, industrial over there, and yeah, so people looting, they're not exactly going to be checking around this area, because it's a hot zone for zombies, and the loot is very minimal. So that is why I choose this place for a secret city base location, and it does cover some of the struggles of 1.21. So I do hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Let's hope we can get this fence kit situation fixed, where we can place more stuff down and allow far more creativity with base building, because they're going very backwards at the moment, I'm afraid. It has to be said, with base building, something needs to change. It's gone on far too long, especially for those guys on console. They have been struggling with base building. It is just unfair, and it needs to be more. I think they can do better, is what I'm trying to say, than this system they have right now. Is very outdated. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining. Been a bit of a negative Nancy this video. So yeah, I won't keep you too long, guys. I'm gonna roll the goofy outro, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and get cracking on this base location. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, boys.
El que quiera pedir el que quiera pedir, yo no puedo creerlo, nada.